Here I am back with another devlog. Okay, I'll just get straight to the point. My game is not fun, nor is it even a proper game yet, nor do I have a clue on what to do next. I currently don't have a clear plan yet on how to make this into a short Metroidvania. I have a lot of ideas, like maybe make an inventory system, skill tree, or some kind of charm system, maybe add multiple weapons, or maybe add a fishing system, which is totally related and vital to the game, and the list goes on. So yeah, it's easy to think a lot of ideas, but I cannot conceptualize a compact set of ideas in order to make a short but compact Metroidvania. Currently, I'm not really sweating on it too much since I haven't really gotten the basic combat and movement down. Last devlog, I was barely able to implement a melee combat system. For this devlog, I'll be improving the ranged combat. To start, I want to make the polearm more interactable. Currently, the polearm when thrown ignores enemies and just goes forward until it hits a wall or it comes back like a boomerang. I want to add more mechanics to the polearm, so initially I made it bounce upon enemy collision. And of course, right on schedule, bugs. Bugs that in hindsight are not directly related to the feature, they appeared. For those who didn't know, this game was initially from the GMTK Game Jam. The Game Jam had the theme of joining together, so at that time I came up with the idea that the pole and the player would have interconnected health bars. If the player uses the polearm, it would reduce its durability, and when the durability reduces to 0, the player will die. The player's HP will also decrease if the polearm is not held by the player. But I had a couple of feedback from the people who played my game during the Game Jam. The interconnected HP bars was a good fit for the theme. It provided some challenge, but it was just hard but not really fun. So I decided to remove it. Probably I'll think of a way to better implement the mechanics wherein it will be both fun and challenging. But that's not really the main focus of this devlog because I actually revamped my range combat. Previously, it can only be thrown in the horizontal direction and it looked really uninvolved with the environment. So I plan to be able to throw the polearm in any direction, and along with the changes to enemy collision, I think it would be a fun mechanic if I can successfully implement it. Actually, I was able to do it somewhat with my previous game with the arrow projectiles, so how hard could it be? Yes. Actually, it was quite similar in terms of implementation. I just got the vector between where the player stands and where my current cursor is, and I use a timer to know when the polearm will come back. And a return vector is set by detecting where the player currently is at the time when the polearm comes back. Sounds easy to do, but I had to go through multiple tries to nail the return vector. Eventually, the multi-directional system was done, but as you can see, it's kinda awkward if you target a direction wherein the player is not facing. So I made the player shift and axis based on cursor position. So in the idle state, I inserted this function. The function basically compares the player and the cursor positions and flips the sprite accordingly, along with some other directional adjustments. Next, I also tweak how the polearm will bounce from an enemy. Previously, it didn't really feel like the polearm is affected by gravity at all, so I made it somehow bounce with a diagonal return velocity, and I just used a timer to detect when the polearm wants to fall. I also inserted some kind of loss on momentum mechanic, so when the polearm collides with the slime, I cut the time it needs to start to fall in half, which was taken at the time that the polearm collides with the slime. Another problem I'm having is the polearm's collision with the walls and ceilings, but fortunately, I just had to apply the same code and well, so far it looks alright. I'm just starting to realize how hard it is to make a physics-based game. But yeah, everything is turned out quite well, and yeah, that's it for this devlog. So, did I make the game fun? I think not, but we're getting there, I think. So it could be helpful if you guys have some suggestions. I'll gladly read them in the comments down below. But yeah, once again, thank you and I'll see you on the next one.